Gates of hell will open. Israel's defense minister vows to level Gaza City after IDF takeover plan approved. August 23, 2025. IDF sources said troops are preparing to use artillery fire to encourage the evacuation of Palestinians who choose to remain in Gaza City and seek shelter inside buildings. Israel will destroy Gaza City and evacuate its residents, Defense Minister Israel Katz said Friday, saying he and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu approved the battle plans to take over Gaza. Yesterday, we approved the IDF plan to defeat Hamas in Gaza with heavy fire, evacuation, and a land offensive, Katz wrote on X. Soon, the gates of hell will open above the heads of the Hamas murderers and rapists in Gaza until they agree to Israel's conditions for ending the war, starting with releasing the hostages and disarming. Otherwise, said Katz, Gaza City, Hamas capital, will become Rafah and Beit Hanoun, both of which were completely destroyed during the war. Katz's statement came after Netanyahu and cabinet ministers approved plans to conquer Gaza City. Earlier this week, Katz said he had approved the Gaza occupation plan presented to him by Chief of Staff Hillel Zami, titled Operation Gideon's Chariots 2. The army said at the time that the fighting was expected to continue into 2026 and that about 130,000 reservists would be drafted for the operation. Reservists currently in combat are expected to remain drafted, with their service being extended by a month. The IDF announced on Wednesday that approximately 60,000 reserve call-up orders had been issued and that about 20,000 reservists who had already been drafted would receive notice of draft extension. Senior army officials added that another reservist mobilization was expected in November and another surged in early 2026. The IDF also said 5 divisions are expected to take part in the offensive along with the Gaza division. According to senior military officials, the IDF began making preparations in the area. The army estimated last week that the fighting in Gaza City will be characterized mainly by guerrilla warfare by multiple small, well-prepared cells. This means more militants, more explosive devices, anti-tank missiles, and sniper fire, all in a densely built-up area. According to army sources, the evacuation of residents from the city is expected to take a week to 10 days, and once the evacuation is complete, taking control of the city is expected to take hours or to days. After gaining operational control of the city, the IDF will need to operate for more than a year to destroy the infrastructure above and below ground. In addition, the army said that it has begun preparing to transfer the city civilian population to about 1.2 million civilians south to Muwasi and the refugee camps in the central Gaza Strip. The IDF also said that it began setting up additional food distribution hubs and building field hospitals. Last week, the army said that beginning the offensives would be impossible without the evacuation of Gaza's residents. The IDF plans to issue evacuation notices to Gazans, but it estimates that many of them will choose to remain in the city and seek shelter inside buildings, even at the risk of their lives. In such cases, the army said, troops are preparing to use artillery fire in nearby areas to encourage the residents to evacuate. By Haaretz.com, story by Yaniv Kubovich, August 23, 2025.